Hey everyone, it is Sarah again with another gardening video and yet another harvesting video. I have some onions here behind me. You can see some of the tops are falling over. And this is the first year that I have grown onions, not spring onions. These are bulb onions. So I'm going to show you my harvest today. So let's just get into it. First, I just want to show you guys what it looks like, and don't mind the weeds. I kind of stopped weeding after a while. The rhubarb is doing pretty good. The one plant that was right there died, and this one is getting a little bit of blight. But to be fair, I have not watered them in quite some time because I've become somewhat lazy. Life's been really busy. Anyway, you can see some onions, and these are bulb onions. I'm pretty sure they're all ready to be pulled. If not, they have been ready to be pulled for quite some time. So I'm going to go ahead and just get into pulling them up out. Alright, so I'm just going to start right here. I did pull one up the other day and let it sit out. And this is all the bigger it got now. The bulbs that I started off with, the seeds, they were probably about like that big compared to this. So I mean, it is a decent size compared to what I started out with, but definitely not what you typically get in the store. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull these all up that I have. Some of them, like this, isn't very much bigger than the seed, the bulb, or whatever you want to call it. Same thing with this one, but they're still going to be usable. I mean, they're definitely edible. And they smell amazing, for sure. Now, earlier in the year, whenever these were first starting to grow, I did cut parts of these green stems off and use them to substitute for green onions until I could get mine to grow. This is actually a pretty nice bulb. I don't know. That's a decent size. Anyway, but I was using the green tops to substitute for my green onions. I'm going to go ahead and pick some of these weeds out while I'm in here because might as well just make myself extra useful. So those are white onions. Here's a red onion. And I'm just going to keep these separated. Let me move the rhubarb out of the way. There's another white onion. It looks like a lot of the ones that did end up doing pretty well were the white onions. I think this was a yellow onion. I think that's supposed to be a sweet onion. I'll start another pile for that. White onion. White. White. Weed. I know this leaf needs trimmed, but I'm trying to just get it out of my way for now. There we go. I'll do this one too while I'm in here. All right. Red. Yeah, see, these two probably did not grow very much, so I'm not sure how that's going to work, but again, still going to be edible. Nice little red onion. White onion. I'm going to go ahead and move this so that you can see me doing those ones a little bit better. Okay. There's a red onion. I'm just setting these behind me as I'm going through and pulling them up. And then I'll show you guys a shot of everything. I think this might be a pretty big one. It's a decent size. It smells really good. The red ones are definitely more pungent with the smell. of onion versus the white ones. And why don't you guys go ahead and comment below, and if you're very versed in growing onions, what do you do to get your onions to grow well? I guess I was expecting them to be just slightly bigger than what I currently have. Maybe the conditions that I have them in aren't optimal. Maybe they're not getting enough sunlight. I'm not entirely sure, but I can always play around with it next year. But what do you suggest to grow onions in optimal conditions? What would you say would be the best way to grow an onion? Just got a handful here. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and just pick some of these weeds out of the way as I'm going through. Might as well do a little bit of, it's not spring cleaning, but some sort of cleaning here while I'm at it. That's a decent sized one. It's about the size of my palm. And then I have these ones as well. And I know you have to let these cure, and I'm going to set them in my garage to let them cure. And from what I understand, you let them cure by dusting off a lot of big chunks of dirt and then letting them set in a dry, hot place until everything's dried out on the, like the outside skin's dry. And then, like, I guess you would call this the tail. And until the tail's dry. So some red onions and a white onion. And then I'm going to go ahead and move this up again. Okay. We're getting to the end here. I'm sorry if the rhubarb leaves are getting in the way. And like I said, a lot of these didn't get very much. And like I said, a lot of these didn't get much bigger than the seed that I planted. And whenever I mean seed, I mean bulb. I didn't start these from seed, although I may try that next year. I think I did buy something to do shallots from seed. I bought a pack of seeds for shallots. And from what I understand, you know, whenever these are finished growing, because the tops start to bend and they get dry right here. So all of these have presented that. So that's why I'm going ahead and picking all of them. Okay, I just adjusted the camera a little bit to pick the last of my onions. That looks like a pretty nice one. I'm definitely going to be excited to try my first homegrown onion cooked. Here's the little bunch that I got. This one's a pretty decent sized one. another bunch. And it seems like all these ones over here are the yellow onions. Last two. Yep. All right. That's my last two. So there is my onion harvest. These are white onions, yellow onions, and red or purple onions, however you want to describe those. The next thing that I'm going to do, which I'm not going to show on here, but I will be laying them out evenly so that they can dry in the garage where it's not going to be as humid as out here. It's going to be pretty dry and pretty hot in there. So that's how I'm going to cure them. I may take one of the bigger ones that I have or a couple of the small ones and cook them for dinner tonight with the steak. I might make some sauteed onions with them. So if you guys go to my Instagram, Sarah.Funkhauser, then you'll get to see my sauteed onions for dinner with that. Thanks again, guys, for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video and the content that I provided in regards to my first onion harvest. If you want to continue following me and my journey in gardening, please like and subscribe the video. If you want to get notifications on when I am posting a new video, go ahead and click that alert button or the little bell button. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave that in the comment section below. Give me your thoughts, your concerns, or anything like that in regards to gardening. I'm more than happy to answer questions, and I'm more than happy to receive any type of instruction or constructive criticism on what I can do to be a better gardener. So with that being said, I hope you all have a nice day and happy gardening.